September has come and gone. This is our monthly update. Hi, welcome to Schulte Sweetie's Homeschool YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm a mom of 3 girls ages 14, 10, and 8. And this is my 9th year of homeschooling with my kids, and this year I am only homeschooling one child. My other 2 have decided to go to public school, and in our family we open that conversation up and let them kind of be a part of the decision making, and we kind of choose with parents and kids voicing opinions and trying to make that decision together. So our September has been full. It's been full of soccer, sickness, and school is kind of what I labeled it as. We did start the month off. It was Labor Day weekend, and my girls actually had Labor Day off and then the day after. And so we got tickets for a Major League Baseball game that was kind of close by. My girls and my husband had never been to a Major League Baseball game, and so I went to some growing up, and so it was a lot of fun to take them. It's just like a fun atmosphere. My older 2 daughters really liked it and had a lot of fun. So we had no school a couple of days, and we also had sickness. So the first week or so, it seemed like my girls were all sick. Had congestion and colds. My middle daughter, after those first 2 days off, she actually missed 2 more days because of sickness, and then she did get to go that Friday. She always gets a fever when she has a cold, and so she did stay home those 2 days when she had a fever, and then got to go on Friday. Her fever was gone. Well, she missed 4 days that week. Technically, she had a couple days off. And then about a week went by and she was doing good, and then she developed another fever again, and not really tons of cold-like symptoms, and we had a well checkup appointment for her scheduled already, and it turned into a sick child appointment, and we got the doctor's excuse for her to miss school. But when we realized, I thought at first it was just another cold, but I realized, it's not going away. She still had a fever. Started a low-grade fever Sunday night. She went full day of school on Monday, and by that night she had a higher fever, over 100, and it wasn't super high, but it was not going down. So for about 4 or 5 days, she had 100-degree fever. By about Thursday, we were in communication with our doctor, and something else is going on. I realized I'm not a doctor, but I think that she had a sinus infection from her cold previously. It just lingered around and turned into an infection, but she got antibiotics and ended up doing better and has been able to go. She missed a total of 6 days this month. It was kind of crazy. She's gotten to go on her first field trip. She was so excited because she gets to go on a bus. And so she missed 1 week of her first week of choir after school, but she still gets to do that each week. There's choir after school, and then also a STEAM class, STEM class after school. So she gets to do that as well. I shouldn't say that I'm excited, but we did go to a meeting, an information meeting about archery, and I always I have this hard pull, I don't want to tell my kids no if they're interested in something, but at the same time, I know that it would be a lot. And so we went to the informational meeting, and I think it was actually good because for the longest time she kept saying she was gonna do archery, but after the meeting she thought the meeting was kind of boring, which I knew it would be, but she went to the meeting and was like, I don't think I want to do it. She would have had to do 2 days of practice and then tournaments most weekends for archery if we had joined, plus she had already signed up for choir and that STEAM class, and so it was going to be a lot after school on top of already just going to school. So I was kind of happy that she didn't want to do archery anymore. I said, let's just do archery for fun instead of being in the club. It seemed kind of intense. So it's kind of cool that they have that opportunity. It's for 4th grade through seniors in high school, but I was just I'm kind of glad. Soccer just finished up as well. So they had more games each Saturday. Thankfully, she was only doing practices mainly on Thursdays. She missed one game due to her sickness. They only lost one game in their season and then had tournament. That was my middle daughter. She has had a busy month. And then my oldest daughter, she had drama club and was all excited about that. Heard more about the play that they're doing for the fall, and she had auditions, so she should be finding out soon what she is in the play, and she's so excited. She's had youth group, voice lessons, and those things as well, just kind of getting more involved in school. She also had homecoming. She is on student council, so she was decorating different things and helping with that, and then also got to go to the dance, and there's been football games. I did go to a couple with my middle daughter. She likes to mingle with friends too, and my oldest, I just let her go. So we've had some football games thrown in there as well. And then my youngest has just been continuing with co-op each week, and then also her art club that she has on Thursdays, and that's an after school thing. So some kids are homeschooled there, a lot of them are, but then some of them are from like public school as well. It's kind of a fun little mix. She really loves that art club. It's really fun for her. And she also got to have a grandparents day at, like, the art club is like kind of like an enrichment center, that's what it's called. And so they host some different things that like open it up to like anybody that goes there, even if you're not like a full-time student. And so she got to have like a grandparents day with her grandparents. All three of them came, and so that was a neat special thing for her as well. We did have like a fall break for co-op. It just was 1 week we don't go to co-op. It wasn't really much. We also did get to go to the zoo this month with some friends, one of her little speech friends from last year, and her mom and sisters got to come and meet us at the zoo, and so that was a lot of fun. So also personally, like I work for our public virtual school, and that has actually been a lot busier with like enrollment and different things and getting things going, and that's been a lot of, I actually really enjoy working with that because I can kind of pick my own hours, and there's been a lot more for me to do lately, so I've really actually enjoyed that. So then moving on into homeschooling to like our curriculum and everything, and it's been a fun month. So I will kind of get started with this, Bones and Stones. This is once again just still surprising me like how much I actually really like it. When we first started it, I mentioned it last month, when we first started this I was like, oh, I don't know, like the audio was kind of boring. But since then, I will say, whenever there has been an audio, it's been a couple times, she's like, I like it. And I think one of the times it was kind of because her older sister that was staying home because of sickness, she joined us for one of them. And so she was kind of like showing her what it's like and stuff. And so that was kind of fun to do a lesson with both of them again. And then, so we have pretty much finished dinosaurs, and I know she was a little sad, and I was too, and, you know, we kind of made it fun. She got to do like a little fossil dig, and, I had lots of little activity books and things for her. So I was kind of like, oh man, that's, you know, it's kind of a bummer that we're moving on, but, I decided, I was like, it's kind of a good thing. I don't know. I think I'm excited. So now we're moving on like to like more like earth science, like layers of the earth and stuff. We're gonna, I don't know, extracting metals and like minerals and rocks and everything. So we are moving on into that. So I decided to get some fun things for her that kind of go along with this, because I think it makes this more exciting and fun as we go through it. So one of the things was like an I Spy. It's got games and like a lot of different rocks and minerals. And so we've played this already a couple times this week. So they have like tic-tac-toe, bingo, I Spy, all sorts of things. So I think this will be good because I'm not very good at rocks. And they, all my girls have rock collections. They kind of took after my husband. He had a rock collection growing up. So that's been fun. We also got like a little rock dig thing similar to the fossil dig, and she enjoys that. And it's nice because she can dig away and gets super dirty, but and then I read during that time, so it kind of like occupies her. And then I found this really cool book on Amazon. I will link this below. Actually, I'll link all this below, but this is so cool. So it's not, I don't even know, it's Twirl. It's a Twirl book. I've never heard of the company, so usually I would get like, you know, more well-known books, but this is like a fun pop-up book that has all sorts of things in it. And so with it being like talking about earth science and stuff, so we got to do kind of talk about that and the different layers of the earth. She's also been doing space science at our co-op, and so I think this will be good for that as well. This just goes through so many things about earth science. So I was pretty impressed with this book. We kind of looked through it today, and then we'll probably look through it more as we go through these lessons. Maybe if something in particular like we talk about in here, I'm really excited that we have that now as a resource. So moving on into history, we are getting deeper into this, more of what I'm more excited about, because I don't know, I've just been really excited to be able to watch like the Liberty Kids with her pretty soon. So I'm excited. We're getting in there pretty soon. One of the things I wanted to point out is we are on this lesson 7, and they had these, I actually laminated these. They had these little things that she can put in this little house, kind of like a colonial house play set. I mentioned this last time that with this, once we get into like the Liberty Kids time frame, which I think in like a week or two, I think we should be there, we will start watching Liberty Kids and then going through this as well, kind of in conjunction with this. So we're not giving up the Guest Hollow early American history. We're just kind of doing it together, and I'm excited. I think this will be really fun. I really like the Liberty Kids. So one of the things that has really surprised me, and it was one thing that I did a video on, I've unboxed it, and it's been one of those, like, I was nervous to start it because it just seemed, I don't know, I was kind of just like nervous because plus it's like an extra. So I was like, are we gonna have time? Is it gonna be a good thing, or is it gonna be something that we don't want to pick up? Both science and history have been things that I have wanted to pick up this year, which has been awesome. But I was like, this is an extra. Are we gonna really like this? We love this. So this is Yamita's Spanish. This is level 1. I did a flip through, so I will post the video up above. We've gone through 4 lessons, and I've kind of broken up some of the lessons that seem like a little longer, but it's broken up into units. You have different units for the year, and so the first unit is ocean themed. The first unit is ocean themed. We have 12 units, and it has been so good. There's music, there's a storybook that you can go through. There's videos you can find on their website. I think they even have a YouTube channel now. I haven't actually checked it out quite yet, but it's kind of similar to like The Good and the Beautiful, how they are with their language arts. I'll just show you one that we haven't done. But they have like little check places that you can do. It tells you what track to use. It tells you in English the directions and tells you in Spanish the directions. And she has picked up on so much. And then some of the songs are so catchy. Like I find both of us humming them sometimes. So this has been such a good hit. And like we are always wanting to do it more. So it's been a lot of fun. She has like really simple activities, sometimes cutting and pasting, or sometimes drawing, copying letters, but she's really been picking up on the vocab of the ocean animals and things. So it's a hit. So I am excited. I'll share more as we go on with it, but definitely I'm very happy with this. Another thing that we have been I had almost forgotten that I was like, oh, we're gonna do this. But I have had rabbit trails through literature for a while now, and I decided a couple weeks ago, like, oh, we should start this. So we read one, it was Crichter, it's about a snake, and so we read that. She made her own snake, and she enjoyed that. And then she was like, let's do another one like the next week. And so I'm only doing about one a week or so, every other week, I don't know. we sometimes go on the extra rabbit trails, but usually we do the activity and we read the story and stuff. The next one was Library Lion. Well then, in recent weeks, I've also found that Rabbit Trails has some extra freebies. So one was for fall into autumn. So this was a freebie that I found on her website. And so we have been working on that this week. And then we also, to celebrate fall, there's also a Johnny Appleseed one. So other thing, I think I had mentioned last month that Mindbender, she was like almost done. We were getting to some really hard ones, and they're almost just too much right now. So these are really hard, even for me as an adult to think through. So I wanted to still kind of keep with those square puzzles. She really likes those. So I found Logic Safari, and so she's been working through these. These are pretty easy. This is the lowest level that they have, book 1 for grades 2 and 3. They're pretty easy for her. So we'll move on to the next one, but I think they were like $10 or something on Amazon. So other thing that's kind of changing, math is going fine. Then reading, for All About Reading. I mentioned last month that with our grammar is kind of like, we're using like Grammar Galaxy kind of without the reading because we were bored with those stories, but we like the work. Then also some other like Scholastic's grammar. Spelling. We started with Evan Moore, and I don't know if it's not necessarily that it's not working, but we're not picking it up. And it's a workbook, so she's just doesn't remind me either. But it's just not been really my favorite, and I don't know, like it's sometimes like something that I don't really want to like make her do. It should be fun, I guess, I don't know, but it's not really been my favorite. And so I've been really thinking about All About Spelling again, and this is like the new colored version. I actually tried this with my middle daughter a couple years ago when it first came out, but it didn't seem like it was a good fit for her because I think she was more advanced than what this was. But I think if I start my second grader off, she's already completed level 1 of All About Reading, and learned some of the rules with All About Reading. And I think this would be a good fit actually with her. And I think it'd be more fun where you're not writing. Like I don't want to add more writing because we also do have this Plaid Phonics that kind of adds in some spelling aspects. It's similar to like Explode the Code. So I'm still in the process of getting the student workbook because I did not prepare the other one. I don't even know, all the parts were like everywhere. So once I get this student workbook, I am actually gonna put it into a binder like I do All About Reading. I just didn't do that with my middle daughter, and I wish I would have. So I'm hopeful that this will work, but we'll see. But I already had most of the components and just needed a new student book. So I figure it's not much of an extra purchase. So that's pretty much like some of the changes or some of the things that we've really enjoyed this month. So stay tuned. In about a week or so, I'm actually going to go a little more in depth about how our school year is going now that we're 2 months in. So I will share that. That will be a collaboration in about a week or so. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day.